welcome back to normal programming for Peace and Cues. It is Mental Health Monday, and today we will be talking about histrionic personality disorder. So last week after I did NPD, narcissistic personality disorder, I had several people message me and ask if there's three classifications. So there's cluster A, B, and C. If there's three classifications of personality disorders, why did I choose to start where I did? Well, the answer to that is simple. The four personality disorders that are in cluster B are the most common. They're the most often diagnosed. They're what we see most often in general society. The other ones are there, and a lot of times it is a secondary diagnosis to either antisocial, borderline personality, narcissistic, or histrionic personality disorder. Some of the other ones are secondary to that, so they don't. It's not that they're not diagnosed; it's that it's not the treating diagnosis, because they're less pervasive, and or if by resolving the cluster B or treating the cluster B, the cluster A or the cluster C symptoms lessen or become tolerable, and sometimes can even disappear altogether. So over the course of all of this, I will cover cluster A and cluster C personality disorders. I just wanted to start with cluster B simply because like I said, it is the four mental health disorders, personality disorders that are most often diagnosed, and it is what we see in general society. So just a couple quick things. I just wanted to share this really quick because it came up on my memories on Facebook. So 8 years ago today, this is what my daughter and I were doing. And it's crazy to look at mine now and go, ugh. So yeah, I'm on the bottom, she's on the top. You can see she's kind of a ghost. And I was driving for a living at the time, so my left, was very tanned at the time. So I thought that was kind of interesting that came up on my memories today. So 8 years ago today, we got our tattoos and started working on repairing our relationship. So I just thought it was kind of funny because we were just talking about this last week. So we got a small viewing going right now. I also have a very unstable internet for whatever reason. I have great connection on my phone, but on my laptop, it keeps blinking at me that my Wi-Fi is being a little stupid. In fact, I had to run a diagnostic on it, of course, as soon as I tried to get StreamYard set up, because it wouldn't connect to the internet at all. So I had to run a quick diagnostic to get it to fix itself and start going. But so I'll be testing my skills out a little bit with this video. I'm going to be bouncing back and forth between the slideshow that I created and a video that I had found. And the main reason I'm doing that is because I uploaded these last night. I uploaded my slide into this last night, and it's not here. That's okay. I found a video as I was researching and trying to find examples of each of the criteria. And I came across this video where she literally breaks down. She starts with the DSM-5. She shows it at the very beginning of her video. And she goes one criteria to the next, and she actually gives examples of what each of those criteria, how they present. So rather than me saying that, I thought I'll let somebody else explain that. But again, I'm testing my my skills on StreamYard yet again and seeing how well I can share how well I'm going to be able to bounce between the slideshow and sharing a screen. So we'll see. Wish me luck. Oh, I keep talking for a minute because my slideshow's got to continue to upload. So sis, how are you today? And are you planning on coming up this week? Well, I think that was the plan. I guess the better question is, when are you planning on coming up this week? Just have to pick a day. So I think I'm meeting you in town. And so I'm going to do some, I got to pick up dragon salad while I'm in town. So sooner rather than later, please. Sorry, my leg is itching like crazy. Loading. I'm wondering, is there anything else I can show you guys while I'm waiting for... I didn't even look. I should have looked before I went live to make sure that it was still there. Something else I've learned about StreamYard. Last night, I came in and I uploaded the slide presentation into this stream, and it's not here now, which kind of sucks because I was trying to be better prepared than this. So I guess while that's going, I will start with
battery is low.
Oh, shush. That would be my Bluetooth speaker. Always amazes me how something that's never used can run out of battery. If you come early enough, you should be able to do it while she's in school. It's, Department of Licensing, so unfortunately it will always depend on the line that's there. But am I plugged in? Doesn't seem like okay, it's plugged in. But yeah, if you come early in the day, we should be out in plenty of time for you to get back to pick her up from school. So we're almost done with the uploading. We'll do some housekeeping. Just as a reminder, I am trying to keep this to a zero drama, no drama, minimal drama zone. I know that I veered off a little bit and brought some of that here. And again, I apologize for that. But we're back on track, hopefully. I've added some new words to the block list on YouTube Studio, so hopefully we won't have any issues today if anybody else files in. I know there's another live getting ready to go. Either that or she just started. I'm not sure. I just got the notification. Nope, she's starting. And again, drama versus no drama. I get it. It is what it is. As you see scrolling across the bottom, this is for educational purposes only. Please don't use any information in this video to diagnose yourself or anybody else. If you hear this information and you suspect that, hey, that kind of sounds like me, please seek out a professional to go get an evaluation done. Yay, we are up and running. So add this to stream. So histrionic personality disorder. What histrionic personality disorder is, and I'm going to call it HPD moving forward because histrionic personality disorder is a mouthful. So HPD is a pervasive way of being. And that means that it's not just like, oh, you act this way with your spouse, or you act this way just with your boss, or you act this way just with your child. It's across all spans of who you are. So occupational, social, recreational. And it's everywhere. Everywhere you go, you have these problems and you display these behaviors. So this was what's that called when you take the first word of something and turn it into so that you can remember it, like PEMDAS for orders of operation. Can never remember what that's called. So it's called I crave sin, which I'm not exactly sure why they chose sin. I'm sure there could have been a word, maybe. Oh, I guess it is sin. So inappropriate behavior, so provocative or seductive. C, center of attention. R, relationships appear closer than they are. A, appearance is most important. V, vulnerable to other people's suggestions. E, exaggerated emotional expression. S, shallow and shifting emotions. And I was impressionistic way of speaking. So there's lacking detail in what you say. And then N down here, they just put novelty is craving. Novelty is craved. So that novelty, always needing something new, never, every day has to be different. Every moment has to be different. I thought that was kind of, I crave sin. So kind of an easy way to memorize the 8 criteria, plus the novelty is craved. So again, they bring crave back into that. So criteria 1, you need to be the center of attention at all times. They feel uncomfortable or unappreciated when they are not the center of attention. Okay. So I'm going to bounce over to the video. I mean, I think that's pretty self-explanatory, but share the screen. This one.
He or she is not the center of attention. So these people like to be the center of attention. If they find themselves, let's say, at a social gathering where they're not, they will be very dramatic. They may make up stories. They'll be really use their hands and be really emotive to try to gain attention. Now the second,
you think about that, people that use, talking with their hand, anything to get that attention from things. Criteria 2, seductive or provocative behavior. Occurs with intimate and as well as social relationships, lack of appropriate boundaries. So this was I like how she puts this.
criteria is interaction with others is often characterized by inappropriate, sexually seductive, or provocative behavior. When I was taking my licensing exam, something that I always had a red flag on was, is the client coming in wearing provocative clothing and being sexually suggestive, like touching in inappropriate manners and things like that? That would be a clue to me that histrionic personality disorder is one of the potential diagnoses. So that's what number 2 is talking about.
So something else that is included in that would be manners of speech. The way you talk with people, the way you sexualize things. So think about it in that respect as well, that you're always flirting with people. Oh, it's echoed because I forgot I got to mute I forgot. See, I'm still learning. I forgot I have to mute my laptop when I play that. Get that for the next one. Thank you for the feedback. Otherwise you're hearing it okay? So criteria 3, shallow emotional expression. You're rapidly shifting and surface level expression. So histrionic personality disorder, you see it a lot in the I'm hysterically crying, then I'm calm, and then I'm angry, and then and it's like boom, 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 and it leaves people on the outside absolutely exhausted at trying to keep up with that constant change of emotion.
Number 3 is displays rapidly shifting and shallow expressions of emotion. Now, the main reason for this is because oftentimes if we're trying to gain people's attention and we're trying to get all these people to pay attention to us, we're not really in touch with how we feel. We're actually way too in tune with how everybody else feels and they're reacting to us. So oftentimes these people struggle to actually know how they're feeling. And that's why they talk shallowly, because they're just trying to gain as many kind of followers and people to pay attention. So they'll, talk in that kind of quickly shifting and shallow manner. Now,
better? So when I think about criteria 3, I relate it to ADHD in the respect that those of us with ADHD, we tend to talk really fast, and we of consciousness. Ooh, I just saw my screen go. But histrionic person, they do that with their emotions, where it's just rapid fire, angry, sad, man, boom, 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 boom. And to the people on the outside, we're just playing dodgeball, trying to avoid that next big hit by the freaking red rubber ball that, is trying to slam us in the face. Criteria 4. Oh, it's funny. I should have moved that so that P would be on top. I was playing last night or over the weekend while I was doing this. So I copy and pasted a bunch of the flowery images from other slides onto this and moved stuff around. So I was having some fun. But yeah, I did notice that this white piece right here was on top of my wording instead of underneath it. But oh well. Physical appearance equals attention. So they're overly concerned with the opinions of others, and they're always fishing for compliments. So think about the keeping up with the Joneses. Okay, that's an old term. In a lot of respects, I don't know that a lot of I was like, whoa! I just had a black screen with a circle. I'm like, whoa. Told you, my Wi-Fi is really unstable today on my laptop. I don't know what's going on, so I'm gonna run some updates and stuff on it after. I hate this laptop. It seems like every day I'm doing maintenance on it. But a lot of the younger generation may not have heard that term, keeping up with the Joneses. And me not being in that younger generation, there's probably a phrase or a term that I'm not familiar with that conveys the same message. It's that constantly striving to look like and present yourself in a way that other people are going to accept you for. So it's needing to always have the name brand clothes, needing to have the best car, having the best of the best and the best and the best and the best of things. And it's all for the sake of garnering acceptance from other people. It's not about making you feel better. It's not about making you feel good. It's about being accepted by other people.
Diagnostic criteria number 4, consistently uses physical appearance to draw attention to oneself. So like I said, they may dress really provocatively. They may dress in really bold colors when everybody else is supposed to be wearing black. Like some people may show up to a funeral wearing yellow or something just to stand out because they want attention. Or they may do something, wear a really ridiculous hat or shoes or anything to get people to notice them. They like to be noticed. Diagnostic criteria number.
Now, I'm sure if we really thought about it in our real life, following the trends, I'm sure we could identify people in our daily life that are like that. They're always wearing the super loud stuff, and does that automatically mean that they have HPD? No. Because again, you have to have 5. I mean, there's only 8 criteria in this, and you have to have 5 of them present. So the histrionic personality disorder is a pretty identifiable disorder. Normally there might be 9 criteria and you have to meet 4, or but for HPD you almost have to meet all 8 criteria in order for you to have this diagnosis. So just dressing weird could just be about wanting to stand out and not go with the crowd. But if you've got these other criteria in place too, I mean, it goes into it. And that's kind of what she was saying, that when somebody comes into her office and they're dressed provocatively, it's a red flag. Is it aha? Is it an aha moment as soon as they walk through the door? No. But it's a red flag that this might be something I need to look for. Criteria 5, impressionistic speech. This one I really had a hard time with, and I think that might be because of my own, with my aphantasia, I have a hard time talking in detail. So I was like, but, and then I have to remember, just because there's one thing that makes sense doesn't mean the rest of them do. It doesn't automatically equate to a diagnosis. So impressionistic speak, they express with dramatic flair. They're super over the top, but at the end of the day, the listener is left going, what the hell did we just talk about? They don't provide specific details or examples. Like in the DSM-5, one of the examples they give is, they're a really good person. They're a really, really good person. They're a good person. But when you ask them, what makes them a good person, they're not able to identify what makes somebody a good person. So they've got the overall impressionistic umbrella of an idea, but they lack the details that support it. And like I said, with the aphantasia, I don't remember those details in a memory. I remember the facts and the data of it. So I struggle with those details of things, simply because I have this other condition. And again, when they're looking at these criteria, even if you met 5 of the 8, they're also going to be looking at, is there anything else that makes more sense to explain this? So if I was to be going in and being evaluated for histrionic personality disorder. Because I have aphantasia, criteria 5 would not be marked as a criteria for me because I have a medical condition that explains it. Does that make sense? Hope that makes sense. Oops, let me go back and mute myself.
5 has a style of speech that is excessively impressionistic and lacking in detail. Now, I feel like this is very similar to the other one when I said it's a very shallow and not attached to emotions. But this is saying that they're really impressionistic. So somebody may make a suggestion when they're talking. They'll be like, yeah. And they'll tie into it. They don't have I always think of it as they don't have a real solid sense of self because they worry so much about getting attention from others. So they don't really talk in a lot of detail. They just talk dramatically. They try to get you excited and involved and interacting with them and paying attention to them. I hope that makes sense. I know it's kind of hard to follow, but I promise it will make sense in the end. Now,
okay, I'm like, did I unmute myself? Criteria 6, exaggerated emotion. They're very theatrical, self-dramatized, excessive displays, public displays of emotion. Again, in your real life, I'm sure you could think of people and identify people that love bomb everybody they see. The huggers, and it's like, and it's like, whoa. But very theatrical in the way they do things as well.
Number 6 shows self-dramatization, theatricality, and exaggerated expression of emotion. Just like I was talking, anything to get them to be noticed. So they may talk really loud and they may express with their hands and they may jump or they may bang on something just to make noise so that people will turn and look and wonder what they're talking about. And, oh, they must have a good story to tell or something like that. So anything to get attention. Number 6.
I like that. Ooh, they must have a really good story to tell. And I know we know people that are like that, even on live streams, you'll hear them like throw something down on the desk or they'll slam their desk and it's like, whoo, okay, got everybody's attention. Something really good must be about to happen. And I know behind a bubble, people could probably imagine, the flaring nostrils and the, I talk with my hands. I'm sure you guys have figured that out by now. Criteria 7, they're easily suggestible. Opinions and feelings are easily influenced by others. They're overly trusting. They play on their hunches and adopt convictions very easily. So it's they go where the wind blows them is a common way to describe that. These are the people that are a different person depending on who they're with. Oh, my alarm just reminded me to post to IG and TikTok. I forgot. I guess I need to reset. I need to set my alarm back an hour if I'm going to be doing this at noon. Although it's not looking like it's, I don't know. We'll see. But like I said, I know that there's another live going on. So, but again, in your personal lives, and maybe you find yourself doing that all the time, but I would almost guarantee that we all know somebody that it's like, what, because their manner of speech changes, their body language changes, even their morals can change based on who they're with at the moment. Their political convictions change, and everything just is very fluctuating based on any given situation.
Seven is suggestible. They're easily influenced by others, and that's because they want their attention. They want them to pay attention, to feel involved and invested in the conversation, and they'll do anything to get that. Now, the last criteria.
And criteria 8. Criteria 8, perceived intimate relationships. This kind of goes back where I was talking about the over exaggerated emotions, the love bombers. Everybody is my best friend. I mean, you met them once and suddenly you're telling them all your life secrets because they're your best friend. Everybody becomes that close family, even though you've never met them. They're my ride or die. And I'm like, and by extension of that, you find that they speak inappropriately to people of authority. They might start calling their boss by their first name, or they might call their doctor by their first name instead of, Dr. Smith. They're calling him John instead. And that's done obviously without that person's, if your doctor tells you, hey, just call me John, it's weird and awkward, at least for me. My doctor, she was always just call me by my name. And I'm like, I can't, it doesn't feel right. And even though I had her personal number and she was on my Facebook and we kind of had a relationship, a cursory, superficial relationship outside of her being my doctor, it never felt comfortable to call her by her first name, ever. But some people can find comfort in that. So if your doctor gives you permission or your boss gives you permission to call them by their first name, that's fine. But if you were just jumping to that and immediately over I don't even know if this is a word, intimatizing. You're making the relationship more intimate than it is, and you are making that decision without that other person's input. Again, it's a red flag.
They consider relationships to be more intimate than they actually are. Oftentimes, these people will think that they're best friends with someone that they've only met maybe casually twice. And if you ask the other person, they would say, oh, I think I know who that is. But is it so? And they won't really remember. But to the person with histrionic personality disorder, they will think that they're very close. Now, with any personality disorder, if you are concerned that you may struggle with this, or you've been diagnosed before, but you never fully understood, we need to seek professional help. We need to ask questions to those who diagnose us, because it's our life, it's our diagnosis, and we need to understand it so we can better get the help that we need. And just like anything that we struggle with, getting the right help and support can help us better manage the symptoms. So if this is something that we struggle with and we find ourselves being really dramatic and loud at a party, having that awareness can really help us think to ourselves, I think I'm having a moment. I think I'm just trying to gain attention. I'm going to go to the bathroom. I'm going to regroup, and I'm going to come back out. There are a lot of things we can do to help ourselves. Now, just
So that's the quick and dirty of criteria 1 through 8 for histrionic personality disorder. I really like her, and I was noticing that she actually has some other videos on, I know I saw one, she's got one there on bipolar, or on borderline personality. So I'm going to go back and watch that and see if it's kind of in the same style. If not, I do kind of have an idea of how I want to do that as well. Kind of in this same kind of format where we go over one criteria and then what does that look like? Next criteria, what does that look like? How does that present itself? So something that you and I need to talk about, sis, is how do you want to do the panel when we do bipolar? Why do I keep saying bipolar? borderline personality disorder, because we only have 2 more left in this cluster. So we need to either do the borderline next week or the week after. I hope everybody watches it, to be honest. I can take a good guess as to who you're referring to, but I hope everybody watches these personality disorders. Like I said, they're very common, and they're not talked about. People don't, that's why I don't have panelists. I would love to have somebody up here talking to me about their personal experiences with these, but nobody ever goes around and says, yeah, that's me. I have a histrionic personality disorder. Their personality disorders are still held so close to the vest because they're judged so harshly. As open, as honest as possible. Raw as fuck. I may just step back and be like, all right, let's go. I mean, just sit back and let you have the panel. So famous people that have HPD. The most common one that we know, I mean, when people hear of histrionic personality disorder, I think the first one that comes to mind is Amber Heard. And that is because, she was recently in the news. And she had bipolar. She was diagnosed. Dang it, I did it again. Bipolar. She was diagnosed with borderline personality disorder and histrionic personality disorder. If you're going to have 2 personality disorders, those are the 2 that are typically going to go together. And that is because their symptoms are very not similar, but they play off of each other a lot. And so they tend to overlap. Like one feeds the other. So then they both become present. Oh, hello. Welcome. Did you just realize there was somebody else in the room, Sam? So other famous people with HPD, Adolf Hitler, and Joseph Stalin. So 2 of the most famous people in history of being all about me, my attention seeking. I found it interesting that actually 3 of the clan, of the Kardashian clan, are listed as famous people with HPD. Kim Kardashian, Kylie, and Kendall Jenner have all been diagnosed with HPD. And then the max that was all the musicians. I was like, wow, I couldn't believe how many musicians have been. And then I'm like, well, it kind of makes sense. Madonna, Lady Gaga, Miley Cyrus. So think about the personas that they put out there and what we know about them, what we see about them. And think back on those 8 criteria. Loud, boisterous, attention-seeking. It's all about the looks. And, Kanye West, I can't speak on him. I don't know a whole heck of a lot about him other than his recent time in the news. And then Kenya Moore. I don't know how many people know Kenya Moore, but she's from the Real Housewives of Atlanta. And she twirl. She's all about me. I'm the center of the universe and the world just revolves around me. Very fitting of the HPD, which is funny because, in watching RHOA, I never looked at it through a diagnostic, through a psychological lens. But yeah, it's kind of an interesting to go back and think about it that way. And then just some quotes, things that are kind of lend themselves to histrionic. I can't see this one. My little dude's in the way. Let me take that off real quick. Take my stream, put it back to StreamYard for a minute. Hitler had a great gift for adjusting. consciously or intuitively to his surroundings. With enormous histrionic intuition, he could shape his behavior to changing situations. So again, think about that in the lens of I am who I am based on who I'm around. That ever-changing, going where the wind blows you way of thinking. What are you working on? I'm going to try to share your community tab announcing your news too, by the way. She wanted to talk about unimportant matters to speak to someone who wasn't her child or her spouse. Just getting stuff out there. Just need that attention. A gecko. Love it. It don't change color to match the walls. Look like you belong, and the walls will change color to match you. I love that one. It's like, find your tribe, right? Be you, and your tribe will find you. Quit trying to fit within a tribe. It's kind of what that one. But so that is the end of my slideshow. Remove those from the stream. Get myself back up here. Lost my train of thought. I don't know. It zoomed. It roadrunnered right through my brain. So I am working on a journal for Miss Sophie. So yeah, I don't know. The thought is gone, so I'm not going to try to figure it out. So I am going to go ahead and end the stream, and hopefully everybody enjoyed the content today, and those that'll watch it on replay, because I know they'll get a lot of replay views after the fact, after other streams have played their did their time. Yes, we want to make sure we're not using names. Share for informational purposes to spread the word, but please do it with love and care. Yeah. And again, like I said, I'm not trying to single any one person out. This is my Mental Health Monday. I'm providing information about mental health disorders. I'm started with the personality disorders, and there's 12 of them to go through. I've already done depression and anxiety, ADHD, grief. See, I'm trying to think backwards now, and my brain is like, I can't think backwards. So next week, I'll talk with my daughter. So next week we'll either do borderline personality disorder or antisocial. The antisocial is kind of the scary one. And obviously, I mean, who's going to step up and be like, yep, that's me. I have antisocial disorder. Because, antisocials are serial killers. Well, that would have been an interesting interview to get, huh? Interview a serial killer. But I'll figure that out. I'm not sure yet. Like I said, I got to talk to my daughter and figure out when she wants to do it. But blowing leaves. Well, we were just heading out, Sophie. I'm started on your journal. That's what I was doing last night during all the craziness. Started working on your journal. Awesome. So for those of you that are here, hit the like on your way out. All you guys on the replay crew, please make sure you hit that like button. And ring the bell so that hopefully you get the notifications. I know that YouTube's been kind of off and on, and it's kind of crazy. Like I've had to unring and ring, play with the bell several times this week just to kind of get my notifications going. I can only assume that's because of all the updates that YouTube is doing. Don't know for sure, but that's my assumption. So hit the bell anyway, and hopefully you get the notifications. And if you don't, hit the bell and hit it again. Slam it harder with hit it with a sledgehammer. Maybe that'll help. I don't know. But until next week for Mental Health Monday. But until tomorrow, so tomorrow we're back to Tenacious Tuesday, doing the diamond painting and open chat. Anybody that's here that does diamond painting, you are welcome to come up on panel with me. And we can diamond paint, on screen while we have the open chat. So, like I said, in my community tab, I bumped everything back to noon this week to see if this time slot works a little better. So we'll test it out for the week, and then I'll just keep adjusting until I find a good time. Unfortunately, most of the people I think that subscribe to me are 3 hours ahead of me. So the earlier I go, the more tired I'm going to be on stream, because I don't usually wake up until around 9:30 or so. Well, that's when my get the hell out of bed or you're not waking up today alarm goes off at 9:30. So that's kind of the last time that an alarm will go off, and then I'll, if I'm not already up. So I can only go back so far. I mean, like 10 o'clock my time would probably be the earliest I could go. But that's doing a quick jump in the shower, scarf down some breakfast, get a coffee going. And I'd still be half asleep. Which on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, when you don't see me on camera, wouldn't be as bad, but definitely not for face-to-face stuff. Yes, really. I'm actually working on two simultaneously. I'm just going to wait. The other person I'm working on, she's still got to send me this to her specifics, like what colors and stuff. But is struggling. So said, take your time. I'm here. So tomorrow, Tenacious Tuesday, back to the diamond painting. I haven't worked on it in 2 weeks. I haven't touched it. So not a whole lot of updates on it since the last time you guys saw it. But all right, guys, you have a good day today. Peace.